President Trump is now concerned. Now, the question to India, when the issue was raised, Donald Trump says that they lost a client, India. They, I guess, is Russia. That they lost a client, India, which was doing about 40% of the oil, and China doing a lot. And if I did secondary tariff, then it would be devastating. If I have to, I will. Maybe I won't have to. So as Shinjoy said, not the most predictable presidents that we have seen. Mr. Goel, what is your understanding? Because as far as an adversary China is concerned, he seems to have extended the halt, but not for friend India.
That is exactly what I said, and therefore we should not go by what happens in Alaska to know the impact on whether we can buy oil or tariffs for India, etc. That's entirely a different matter. And therefore, I think what I was going to say is that we have to let the USA know that tariff cannot be used as a leverage against India. We have told them, but I think even in terms of the foreign policy behavior, it would be appropriate to build alternatives and options so that we do not think, or they do not think, that all our eggs are in the USA basket. Trump, when he thinks that people are dependent on him, he begins to take advantage. I think we need to be careful. Just one more thing I wanted to say.
Yes.
Putin has made it sufficiently clear in his statement. And he said, we want global peace. And he said it depends on the Ukraine. Putin has been able to push his agenda in the meeting and make it very clear that what happens in terms of ceasefire and peace in Ukraine will depend on Ukraine, not just entirely on Russia. I think he has made it very clear, and it was not, I think it was rather unreasonable to expect that this meeting in Alaska would bring about ceasefire or any kind of a resolution. Putin has achieved what he sought to achieve.
Then Troy, what's the point in having this meeting altogether? Because if President Putin, says that it was Moscow's long-held position, that it sincerely wanted and was interested in putting an end to the war, but it will happen only at the time when all the root causes of the crisis are eliminated. He's put conditions there.
This is what that's my perspective on it from Putin. Putin attended the meeting today in Alaska for PR purposes. He attended the meeting so Russia would not receive any more sanctions. He attended the meeting and basically tried to appeal with humor and jokes about former President Biden to President Trump. And because he flattered him with jokes that, quite frankly, were rude and crass, and President Trump found it funny, he walked away not having to make any deal or any negotiations around Ukraine, right? And now he gets to go back to Moscow and receive...
But then why target and single out India? Isn't India considered to be a friend, an ally of the U.S.?
Yes, India is a friend. And I believe that our American government and American citizens want to have a positive relationship with India. But I think that also depends on our president and his advisors. And what is clear is that there is not a clear decision process, right? The decision process is however President Trump feels in that moment or that day. There's not a particular policy process, and his advisors go along with it. So whatever he feels for that day, whatever Putin says, if Trump agrees with it, so goes, the White House and the rest of the Trump administration.
So who really does have the upper hand here? Because as far as this meeting is concerned, there hasn't been any outcome that we are looking at of a possible ceasefire or even a pause. However, will there be a next round of meeting possibly in Moscow? Well, there is still no clarity on that. But let's put out pictures that came in of that handshake, because lots being talked about as far as